Hi, this is Farrell, and we're taking a little break from the Robot Todd pages. This week is SEPT and EMBER. I finally got the crowdfunder thing going, and so I decided to spend today editing all of them all together, all 32 drawings, one at a time. I didn't do video for each one of them, and I didn't do them in this order. This is actually the first one that I drew, and I think this was the second one I drew, and then the first one you saw, that's the cover, is like page 1. I think that was like number 3. Actually, I think I did panel 6. I think that was one of the first pages I drew too. But this one too, I inked it all, and I wasn't sure at the time if I was going to do like the red suitcase thing. I didn't even really think of that until after I'd inked that and everything. So then I went back later and added the red suitcase on some of these. But this story, this 32-page comic, has a narrative, like a visual thing going on with SEPT, and this is actually this panel here is like I think this is maybe the second one I drew. This panel here is actually a direct tie-in to Robot Todd issue 1, right before Todd meets SEPT. And and then this panel here is a pickup from issue 2. Once they get separated, SEPT and EMBER get kind of taken away by this rushing water, and then the rest of the comic is just them navigating this world on their own, which they were on their own before they met Todd too. But that panel there, the one with all the bubbles and stuff, I was looking at like Gustav Tengren, and same with the fish too. I feel like that kind of has like a bit of those Pinocchio paintings that he did. At least that's what I was trying for, inspired by, I guess. Yeah, it's funny how much of this is the comic, SEPT and Robot Todd and stuff, is underwater. I don't know why. Just keep it ending up putting these characters, half drowning them or whatever. But yeah, there's I originally did these as drawings that I just wanted to post, like just to do. But I was thinking of like having like a friend write some text, or I don't know. And when I decided to do this as a comic, I was just like, I feel like I should just put something text that ties it to the Robot Todd comic. So some of it is dialogue between SEPT and EMBER, and then some of it is these journals of Fern Fells. Like she's like, how to survive on this world, Iowa, or the It Will Hurt world, or the Wrenchies, Robot Todd. It's all the same place around the same time too. I inked most of these with a brush, Raphaël 8404, number 2. And these were all done in a Moleskine sketchbook, a 5x8 sketchbook. And I think at this point I'm doing 2 a page. I'd started off doing 1 a page. That's kind of what it'll look like, the spread will look like in print. Or at least that's after I scanned it and added the text and everything. But originally these were just drawn, like, you can see that it's just like 1 panel on a page. I hadn't drawn the second panel. I got to a point, I think, where I was penciling both pages at once, but I was trying to do 1 a morning and, be done by around noon or something, but it seemed like it was usually like wrapping up right before dinner or something on some days. So I guess I just was trying to think each day too of like, how do I get from here to there? Oh, here's some ASMR. Oops. Yeah, rip the page real good there. It's okay though, because I cut this whole sketchbook up. But I was trying to think of like, okay, well, I want, originally I was thinking like that they would just be arbitrary images of like SEPT doing different things, in the land by herself. And then I was like, oh, I should tie this into the story. So when I added that scene with SEPT standing in front of those little goblin creatures, which ties into issue 1, and then have the different times where SEPT separated. Well, I guess there's like one other time. And then she's like trapped in this amber crystal in the comic. Like Robot Todd like sees her from a distance, trapped in this thing. Oh yeah, I'll get back to that in a second, but I just wanted to show you here. I made a little toilet paper roll model to get the lighting right on this one, but I was pretty happy with the way that one came out. I guess it's like one of the ones that I felt like, yeah, when I was done. I mean, I think, I'm overall happy with all these drawings, but there's some that I'm like, oh man, I kind of overworked that one, or oh, I wish I'd done this or that kind of deal to it. But yeah, that's what it will look like in the comic printed. Yeah, so anyway, the idea is that, yeah, Sept gets separated from Todd in the first issue, and then, or they meet in the first issue, they get separated in the second issue, and are reunited in the third issue. And I'm just about to the part in the third issue where they're gonna get together again. And so it's kind of cool. I got to, at the end of this comic, you see Todd kind of coming up over a hill, really small, and yeah, I'm just drawing that scene in the Robot Todd comic. So here, these bird creatures, these really large birds that Sept it jumps on. I think they're called shoebill storks or cranes or pelicans. There's some kind of bird with shoebill is in the is in the title. And there's just like a website or Instagram thing that I follow that Akiguma or something like that, or Akigumi or something. I'm not sure, but it's yeah, there's a bunch of pictures of those kind of birds on there. So I borrowed as reference for this one, the one before, and the one after are all reference from whoever the photographer is on that. You know what I'll do? I'll put a description in the description on the YouTube video if you want to know what it is. I'll link to that, as well as a link to the crowdfunder for this book, which is another reason I made a video for the crowdfunding thing. But if you want to get a print copy of this, stick around to the end of the video. I put a link up, or I mean, it's not a clickable link, so it's just a URL. Fund us September. If you go to the description, though, I'll have an actual link that you can click on and go to it. I don't know if you noticed, but some of these are a little out of order when I drew them. There was a couple times where I stopped and was like, I did a drawing or something. It was like, I don't really know where this is going. I mean, I knew I wanted the end to be Sept trapped in the crystal thing. And then at this point, it actually kind of clicked. I was like, okay, I know, I'll show how Sept gets trapped in that crystal thing here. And I have thumbnails for this, which I should be putting on here as well. I'm going to add those later once I'm done with this voiceover. Right now, I'll stick to the voiceover part. This video is taking me forever to make for whatever reason. Yeah, so the idea was that, okay, how does Sept get trapped in this crystal? And that was probably like the biggest challenge. Like when I was writing it, I was just kept kind of stressing out about it. So then I got to this point where I did some thumbnails, which I'll have in the corner or something, I guess, as I'm saying this. But that I thought like, okay, there's these like floating little things, like maybe those like new friends they just met sort of led them into this little danger zone where that's like these little floating drone crystal things send down these rays that basically encase the person in this like crystalline substance that slowly degrades, feeds off of them, like slowly they just turn into a skeleton, so that's actually the last one there. And I got the idea too to use, I was just going to I had a drawing of EMBER just kind of talking to Sept, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to keep it kind of consistent. But like on the very last panel, I thought like, oh, that would actually go well there. So I inked that, or redrew it kind of to get the crystal structure thing in there. And then you can see here basically how I did all the text, and I chopped up the moleskin sketchbook and scanned it all in and messed with it in Photoshop. And then you can see there I added like a spread, and none of those drawings were all on any of them on the same page like that. So there's the book, and there's the crowdfunder. Thanks for watching. Bye.